I would like to thank you very much for your kind invitation to participate in this international forum for the National Heritage Day of 2021. It's my pleasure to be with you. So greetings from Greece, greetings from Europe. And I'm going to talk today about the cultural heritage, and of course I will give you some perspectives on education in the pandemic era. This is more or less the structure of my presentation. I will give you some, let's say, some figures about pandemic and the period that we all face, the last 2 years across the world. We will focus in two topics, in cultural heritage and in education as well. And I will give you also some challenges that, in my point of view, we have ahead. In the first slides, I will try to be, to run them a little bit quick, because more or less are well-known figures about what's happening in our countries, in our regions, in our world. And this is, some statistics that we have since yesterday about the total number of vaccines, the total number of incidents that we have, the total number of deaths in this pandemic that we face in our countries all over across the world. It's obvious that in all countries across the world we have different measures depending the type of problem that we face in each country, but more or less the measures were the same: social distancing, movement restrictions, public health measures, social and economic measures, lockdowns in some cases, especially during the first phase of the pandemic, which were not familiar with this type of measures. So it was this measure that they changed our lives, and they changed many things, and of course they changed the cultural heritage sector during this period. First of all, let's see some figures, some particularities about culture and tourism in this COVID-19 period, and how has been affected during the last 2 years. And I would like to share with you some recent studies that they present some figures. And you see here the first one, which is originating from Europa Nostra. They're trying to analyze the challenges and the opportunities that we have during the COVID-19 and what's happening beyond this period. Okay, so they prepared a consultation procedure with a questionnaire in 20 countries in Europe. Participants from heritage organizations, public entities, universities, and look at the main outcomes that they have during this study. They found implication for personnel and security of jobs. It was a main concern for people. Implications for security of heritage sites, contents, and visitors. Socioeconomic implications, cultural implications, and also financial implications. Some statistics also from another study on tourism that until last summer, the statistics for this summer will be ready after finishing the period, because the touristic period just finished. This study from the World Travel and Tourism Council estimated last year that between 15 and 30 million of tourism jobs are in danger due to the COVID-19. However, I have to tell you that this year, especially for my country, for Greece, was a good a very good summer period and touristic period. We had many visitors from all over the world. Another study about museums this time, and you see how museums have been affected because they lose visitors, and the absence of visitors means lack of money. So they had problems in order to have more economic support for the museum operations. How about education, which was also affected? And I would like to give you some statistics from my university, just to take a flavor on how this situation changed not only our personal lives but also our professional lives as well. And as World Economic Forum says, this COVID-19 has changed education forever. And what we are doing right now is a direct, or let's say an indirect effect, that I'm not there now in Taiwan, but I'm participating from far away. So this hybrid model is entering our lives, our personal lives and our professional lives as well. Greece had faced many problems especially last 10 years, with recession and financial crisis. And after that we had the COVID-19 crisis. However, we managed to successfully pass this COVID-19 test. And sorry for the figure on your right side, which is in Greek. I just tried to translate it on how our IT center managed for almost 45,000 students to manage this online lectures and online exams during the last 1.5 years. And hopefully, just to let you know, our exams this September will be also online, but hopefully we are trying 1st of October to start the new academic year, our new semester, with physical presence. As you can see here in the figures, we had more than 2,000 courses, 1,000, almost 400 lecturers, 45,000 students, and almost 10,000 Zoom links, Zoom lectures, and many calls to the IT center in order to support our students, almost 6,500 to support our students and our professors. What it worked in our case, which I think it was, it seems to be the same in many countries. It seems that our faculty adapted smoothly. Our students, younger generations, are adapted even better. It's very good that we developed new digital skills for all generations. And also remote working is the new norm for staff. And as I said before, what we are doing now, we are participating in a conference in a hybrid mode, which was not the case, let's say 2 years back. Let's see also what didn't work in our case. We haven't clearly documented if disadvantaged students were left behind. And we have to examine more what happened in order to develop more policies for this, for our students. And the second point is the low student engagement throughout the semester. as an element of the past has to change absolutely, both faculty and the students as well. And now I would like to pass to the next section, which has to do with recording and documentation, because as Alex introduced me, I'm the president of SIPA Heritage Documentation, and I would like to give you the perspective on what's happening on this domain of cultural heritage. I will not stay in this slide, which is just to explain what is recording and documentation. We are trying to organize how to collect data, how to plan and organize, how to capture data, how to process data, and how to store data in order to support these conservation and preservation workflows. We do believe that this part is the DNA in order to understand how cultural heritage is acting. So what are the driving forces? The driving forces for recording and documentation towards conservation and preservation. First of all, is our values, our roots. Of course, is the ethics part, the technology part that we are using, and because we are using technology, we have to collect data in order to process them and make our strategies for preserving our cultural heritage. So what are the challenges that we have or we gain from this, let's say from 2 years of COVID-19 pandemic? Of course, in my point of view. And in my point of view, we have 3 challenges, which is, let's say, an extract from this era, from this period. The first one is the ethical excellence. The second one is to how to mobilize the archives, because not having the opportunity to visit the museum, not having the opportunity to visit the theater, not having the opportunity to visit an archaeological site, we have to give this information to more and more people, not only in our countries, but all over the world, because we have the lack of traveling. And also to try to understand how can we have an holistic documentation for our cultural heritage. So about ethical excellence, trying to understand the model of excellence, the need of having an ethical framework which is going to be designed for all practitioners, for the researchers, for the end users, for the policymakers, for our companies, everyone that is interested in cultural heritage. And how important is the role of ethics in our professional lives when we are dealing, when we're having to manage cultural heritage. And of course, in this process, we have many stakeholders. We have academia, we have universities, we have research institutes, we have governmental authorities or local or regional authorities. We have intergovernmental organizations like the one I'm representing, and also Alex is representing SIPA or many other bigger organizations. For-profit, small, medium enterprises, non-governmental organizations. So we have an ecosystem which is involved in this case. And this is the critical triangle, as I used to say. We have to estimate, to make a quality search for the core ethical values, the foundation of delivering excellence in all domains. We have also to organize the imagination of a process in order to visualize the setting up. We have to set up some ethical standards, as we said before, for our professionals. And of course, to develop a strategic action plan in order to attain the ethical vision in authentic practice. We have, as we said before, the second pillar in order to mobilize our archives. We have to mobilize our archives in order to give, not only to preserve this treasure, but also to give this information to our people. Cultural heritage does not belong to anyone; it belongs to the world. So this information has to be shared for all, and it's very important. All these archives that are here and there, closed in many places, we have to raise them up and give them to people. And of course, we have to. Here you can see a SWOT analysis that I made in order to understand, to realize what is the problem in managing this giant amount of information which is stored in our archives. We have huge amount of data with an interdisciplinary domain, museums, intangible heritage, archaeological sites, small objects, big objects, structures, different types of materials. There are many things. We have also some weaknesses. We have still some, we have both paper and digital archives. So we have to see what we have to do with that one. But also we have some opportunities. We have opportunities to give more products, to give more services, to give more incentives to our people, to our countries. And of course, there are some threats. We don't have to forget the potential recession after pandemic may be there, and we have to be careful about that. And of course, maybe other local or regional or national priorities for our countries may overcome culture and cultural heritage, and cultural heritage stay back. So you have to take care about that. The evolution. We do more with less. We would like to embrace the latest technology in order to support us in this process, to integrate of new technologies in order to increase our productivity, in order to process this huge amount of data. Because as we know from the daily practice, technology is making recording and documentation of cultural heritage easier. So I'm giving here a potential roadmap that we may use, we may consider in our organization, in our countries involved, trying to influence what we have to do by analyzing case by case. Is very important, as you see, the second pillar, which is we cannot do so many things alone. We have to join forces. We have to create alliances in order to mobilize the international community, in order to mobilize human and financial resources in order to fulfill our goals, which is above all the protection, the conservation of cultural heritage. So I'm talking about an holistic documentation, which is a support tool towards preserving presentation, both for cultural and natural heritage, both for tangible and intangible heritage, both for artifacts and structures, or for heritage traditions, or for contemporary practices. So there is a need for an holistic documentation that we have to consider all. And I would like to pass these slides in order to go to this one, just to let you know how many different things we have to consider for intangible and tangible attributes: images, videos, models, drawings, archives, sounds, different even senses that we have in intangible heritage. So there are lots of things that we have to consider in this holistic documentation workflow. So going back to what we've learned from recording and documentation, we have to collect things, we have to process things, we have to analyze things, and we have to process them. We have to store them, not only for us, but also for the generations to come, and maybe exploit more than us this treasure. So there is a need for a unified, holistic documentation portfolio, which is going to handle not only drawings, or not only images, or not only models. Under this unified, holistic documentation portfolio, we have to have everything: metric information, material, non-metric information, like documents, archives, maps, of course, multimedia products like images, videos, or any other product, in order to support the recording and documentation process, as I said before, towards protecting, towards supporting the preservation of our cultural heritage. So thank you very much for your attention in this presentation. Thanks once again for inviting me to be with you.